Hey everybody, what's up? Kevin here from the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today YouTube channel, and today I'm going to rewrite and fix a grave injustice from the year 2018 right now. Alright, so for this video, I'm going to be doing a retrospective on the Silver Scream album, the fifth full-length studio album from the Boston metalcore band Ice Nine Kills. Now, why am I going to be doing this 1 year after the album was released? Well, when I started the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today project channel, everything about it, this album came out right at the beginning of that project, and I really wasn't into metalcore at that point. I didn't get into metalcore until January 2019 when I was introduced to Motionless in White. And as time has gone on, I have started listening to Ice Nine Kills. Now, this album has been reviewed and received amazingly by fans and critics alike, and I decided, you know what? Let's take a look at it. Let's deep dive into it, and let's see if it cracks anywhere in the top of 2018 rankings from my rankings in 2018. Let's go. So taking a look at the backstory of Ice Nine Kills and what they do, this band is one that really dives deep into the horror genre. A lot of their songs are based off of horror movies and horror aspects. Take a look at their fourth studio album where they've had songs such as Communion of the Curse based off of The Exorcist, Me, Myself, and Hyde based off of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and of course Hell in the Hallways, which is inspired by the book and movie Carrie. Now, you take a look at the Silver Scream, and every single song has a horror movie counterpart. You'll see him on the side of the screen, and you see stuff like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, It, Edward Scissorhands, Jaws, The Shining. You'll see a lot of that stuff. And you really take a look at it into figuring out why this is all based upon lead singer Spencer Charnas and what he grew up with as a kid. Because when he was growing up as a kid, according to an interview he did on Lead Singer Syndrome podcast, he talked about how when he was a kid, he really got into Halloween, especially with his mom, to the point where they're always decorating the house, and he would walk around his neighborhood looking like Michael Myers, trying to scare the living hell out of people. Plus, it doesn't hurt to be growing up near Salem, Massachusetts, where the Salem witch trials happened back in the 1600s. So there's a lot of horror inspiration here, and they mix that all into the Silver Scream album. So let's take a look at some of the songs, go from there, and really talk through them. So we're going to take a look at the first track on the album to start out with, and that's The American Nightmare. This is all based on A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's taken from Freddy Krueger's perspective. But listening to the song, if you listen to it throughout the rest of the album, it has this intro that's kind of like a weird after-school special public service announcement style intro. Then it goes into more of a classic but slower style metalcore sound where it's a little more melodic. You're using a little bit more clean vocals from Spencer on this one, but it really sets up the album beautifully as it just delves into it and really creates a nice even flow through it. The clean vocals are great. You get a good feel about it. I love listening to this when I'm working out, and honestly, they did a great job on this song, and now we're going to keep looking at some more. Now we're going to go to Stabbing in the Dark, and this song is about the Halloween franchise, and it's taken from the perspective of the antagonist Michael Myers. And I absolutely love how this song is constructed because it really delves deep into how the horror genre and a lot of these slash films were constructed following Halloween's released back in the 1970s. So it starts out very slow, very dialed back, and very creepily, with Spencer's vocals really providing a lot of a creepier tone when they're very soft. And it really brings up the intimidation and fear factor that goes into it. But once the song really gets going for it, this is probably the hardest song on the album, where it is in its full metalcore glory, and you hear a lot of the unclean vocals that bring a lot of the power. And what I love about it is there's a lot of points there where you're hearing things that would easily remind you of sound effects and things that were put in, and extra sounds you'd hear when Michael Myers would put a knife into his victims. It really fits the whole genre, and when you listen to it, it just goes insanely hard throughout the whole entire song. This was the song that actually got me to start listening to Ice Nine Kills, because I thought, whoa, do they go hard on this, and it is fantastic. Absolutely love it. Savage is another song on the track that is inspired by another great slash movie or slash sound movie, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now this one is a little bit more standard when it comes to the metalcore construction of it, where you're mixing a little bit of the unclean vocals with the clean vocals in there. It's rather paced well, where it's just consistent to where if you're listening to a metalcore song and you're going to hear this, you're going to be like, oh yeah, this is definitely, fitting in with that metalcore style. So it's really consistent with it. And I like the fact they kind of went with more of that consistent vibe on this one. However, I think they could have, tweaked it up just a little bit because, you're talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You could really amp it up like they did with Stabbing in the Dark. However, I do like what they did on this one overall. It is rather radio friendly for songs about, killers and fictional killers, but honestly, it really works out in this area, so I do like the song. However, again, it's not one of my favorites, but it is constructed real well to the point where it is a good classic metalcore tune. Now take a look at A Grave Mistake, and this song is about the movie The Crow from 1994 with Brandon Lee, who tragically passed away during filming. And the song really takes a hold of that because the song goes more of a power ballad style away from that metalcore style. And overall, given, the context of what happened with The Crow and overall how the song sounds versus the album, this is a lot different than what they've done. However, it does maintain the Ice Nine Kills style where they have a little bit more of a gruffier style to them, but this song is one of the most well-constructed songs on the album as well with Stabbing in the Dark. The reason being is because they bring in a lot of emotion to it, and it's a little bit more hopeful in terms of building a relationship with somebody, with something, and it really just brings out the emotion, and that's really brought out within not only the instrumentation, but Spencer's vocals when he sings For a Grave Mistake. That specifically, when he brings that out, it is utterly fantastic. Absolutely love it. And this song deserves to be listened to on repeat again and again and again. I really need to talk about The World in My Hands as well, the song inspired by Edward Scissorhands, because I don't think the song gets enough love. And the reason why I like this song is because it really hits you hard on a feeling of when you had something special with somebody or something and you lost it, and at some point in time, whether you still want it back or if you have gotten over it, that you really feel all that emotion in there. So you really have a deep connection to the song. What I like about the song as well is there's a much darker and deeper focus on the clean vocals, where a lot, little bit more just drawn back, like not really drawn back, but really drawn back lyrically and sound-wise, but they hit you on such another emotional level. And a couple other things I like about the song is they do bring in the unclean vocals in the pre-chorus of this, and it really does work well as a mixture. But the one thing you really see on this one versus any other song is they have a specific guitar solo built for this song, and it really works well in conjunction with the rest of the album. And the main reason behind that is because you really don't see that from Ice Nine Kills on this album, where they have a specific guitar solo just going nuts. Maybe also on A Grave Mistake as well, but The World in My Hands has its own specific one, and it really shows the ability and the range that Ice Nine Kills has when it comes to creating songs. Finally, we have It Is the End, the song inspired by Stephen King's It, and this is easily Ice Nine Kills' most experimental track to date because they're trying to bring metalcore in with circus vibes. And what they did for that was they brought in the band Less Than Jake to provide all the horns to really create a weird circus vibe and mix it with their metalcore sound, which is really weird to kind of put together. But oh my lord, is this one of the best tracks I have heard in a while. The reason being is because they mix so well together, with Spencer kind of providing a little intro like the sewer scene from the beginning of It, really getting it creepy, and then he just goes bombastic with the unclean vocals. It's rapid, it's hard, and it gives you a creepy, interesting feel like you're at the circus. The chorus comes in. I absolutely love it because it's fast, but it's clean. It works well, and you hear that da 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 da, and I just love every part of it. The one bone I have to pick with this song is I wish the chorus would come around one more time instead of twice, but you know what? I love this song. Even when they bring in the clown horn too, it sounds fantastic. I love it. I also have to talk about the music videos that they brought forward for this album as well. And the reason I have to do that is because they came out with 6 music videos for this album, and 5 of them are in conjunction with each other to tell a story, with The American Nightmare, Thank God It's Friday, A Grave Mistake, Stabbed in the Dark, and finally It Is the End. So what they did for these was they created extended versions of them and basically kind of told a horror movie within the music video. So what they had the horror movie about was, it was about Spencer going through and having these dreams where he was being a part of these, killings that were very reminiscent of the horror movie and the genre that the song was about. And he was telling this to a psychologist, while the psychologist was trying to figure out what was actually going on. If this was a dream or if Spencer was really doing these things, like the killings like Freddy Krueger did in the American Nightmare, or like Jason did with Thank God It's Friday. And it all kind of came to a head with the ending of It Is the End, where the psychologist was going to write a book about Spencer and just really go deep dive into it and just kind of get into his mind. However, they got captured and you saw Spencer tied up to a wall and the psychologist tied up to a amusement park roller coaster cart, and they were kind of going back and forth of the psychologist saying, I thought it was you, Spencer. Spencer saying it wasn't him. And then you get the It Is the End video, and at the end you see that Spencer was the killer all along, and he was trying to exact revenge on the psychologist for letting a man go free who ended up killing his sister and his parents, similar to the beginning of the movie Halloween. Now, when you're watching the music videos and they actually bring in the music video for that specific song, when they're playing the song, you really get a feel of they're really focusing on, when they do A Grave Mistake, they kind of do something for the Crow, but it's more of them on a rooftop. But for every other one, American Nightmare, they're doing something Friday the 13th style. Stabbed in the Dark, it's all Michael Myers inspired. And It Is the End, Spencer is dressed up singing as Pennywise the Clown, and it is great. Overall, I love what they did with the music video because the production keeps going up and it tells a story going through, and it fits the fact that they created their own horror movie within a series of music videos. Works incredible. So now that the Silver Scream album had come out, we've seen some things happen with the band. Wall of Sound came out and said this album was awesome, giving it a 9.5 out of 10. Soundification, 8.6 out of 10. John from ARTV here on YouTube, 4 out of 5. So you can see the critical response on this album was fantastic. The band also had some mix-ups when it came to their lineup. Bassist Justin Morrow ended up jumping ship in March of 2019 to go join fellow horror-style metalcore band Motionless in White. Their guitarist John DeBleek ended up producing the album Disguise for Motionless in White, helping out there. But once that was done and once Justin left the band, he ended up jumping right back to Ice Nine Kills. So he never really left. He just kind of was helping Motionless in White at that time. Now on October 25th, they released the final cut, the extended deluxe edition for the Silver Scream album, and they put in an extra song for everybody inspired by another horror film, Scream with Your Numbers Up. This one's a lot shorter, and it's all based upon that initial scene from Scream where Ghostface ends up killing Drew Barrymore. And they just go really hard on this one. They kind of keep the creepy vibe there too, because they have the phone ringing all the time in the same style. It is a good song. I'm glad it's on the extended version because it really fits on there, and it's really a nice little addition to the whole entire thing. Now, Ice Nine Kills is no stranger to controversy, and this is probably my favorite thing that they've ever done. So back in April of 2019, they were on tour with Falling in Reverse, or Falling in Reverse's Act 3 tour as their opener. Now, they're playing a bunch of different shows, and they're playing one at Orlando House of Blues, which is on the Disney Springs property, owned and operated by Disney. Well, they were told that they couldn't play there because Disney did not like the violent imagery that Ice Nine Kills put together. Now, instead of Ice Nine Kills, complaining about it and being all down about it, they ended up coming up with something fun. They came up with a special edition merch line where they took characters like Mickey, Goofy, and Donald Duck and turned them into Freddy Krueger, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Pennywise. And I thought, oh wow, is this good? And according to an interview that Spencer did with a Boston, Massachusetts rock station, he was expecting a cease and desist letter from Disney immediately, but that never came.
The merchandise line got a lot of attention from the press, and our fans absolutely went crazy for it. And I'm sitting there thinking, when is the cease and desist from Disney going to come? Our lawyer was
It's not like they don't have a lawyer around.
Right. And Disney is historically known for being very stringent about their intellectual property, and it just never came.
So their special edition line sold out, and they never had a problem with Disney, which is absolutely amazing. Again, they did going back to Orlando sometime in mid-2019 to play a show because, they wanted to give the Orlando people a good show, and I really respect the move there. But my God, I've been trying to find some of this merch line since, and I'm mad I didn't do it when I first heard about it because I thought, I'm not really listening to Ice Nine Kills, but my God, is that merch cool. And I even got to see Ice Nine Kills live here in Milwaukee on November 2nd, 2019. I was kind of not thinking about going to the show because I was working a lot that day. I put in like 8 hours overtime. I'm like, I'm just tired. I don't really want to go. I am so glad I ended up going because the fact of the matter was the energy for their show was some of the best energy I've seen at a concert to date. The imagery, just everything about it. They didn't do over pageantry with it, but just the imagery with all the horror inspired stuff with Spencer coming out looking like Jason, like Freddy, like Michael Myers, like Ghostface, and at the end looking like Pennywise in full makeup. Wow, they did a good job with that. I absolutely loved the concert. That was the concert I thought, oh my God, I have to listen to even more of this band, and that kind of got me down the path to doing this retrospective video. So now, where do they land in terms of the 2018 list? So overall, with the Silver Scream, I absolutely love this album. I'll listen to it all the time when I wake up, when I work out, when I'm doing work, when I'm at work. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm always listening to the Silver Scream lately, and I am absolutely floored by it. And I can't stop listening to it. I absolutely like it. Now, in terms of the 2018 list, would I put it in the top 5 of all time for 2018? Yeah, if I had to redo the list, I'd put this one at number 2. I would still have Beartooth's Disease as the best album, but this one would come in at number 2, ahead of Architects Holy Hell, Ember by Breaking Benjamin, and When Legends Rise by Godsmack. Now, overall, where does Ice Nine Kills go from here? I've listened to all 5 of their albums, and they keep getting better every step of the way. So I'm very excited to see what happens in a couple years when they come out with their 6th full-length album. However, if this one ends up being their magnum opus and being the best album they possibly ever come out with, there is no problem with that. This album is absolutely amazing. If you haven't checked it out yet, my God, you're missing out. This will launch you to liking the band and liking metalcore. Listen to the Silver Scream by Ice Nine Kills. You won't be disappointed. Well, that's it for me. Thank you for watching our retrospective on the Silver Scream by Ice Nine Kills. If you like the video, give me the like. If you dislike, give me the dislike. But put in the comments what you think about Ice Nine Kills, what you think about the Silver Scream album, and if I should be doing more retrospective videos like this in the future. Also, hit that subscribe button, the one in the corner, and the bell icon to be notified every time we release videos every single Wednesday. Also, follow us on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You'll get all your great My Song of the Day content right there, and we do so much more like Instagram live streams, IGTV videos. That's where you'll get the Song of the Day posts. We'll talk to you guys a lot on those. So go follow those, links in the description below. Let's get those out of here. Talk about the Chord Progression Podcast brought to you by My Song of the Day, Rock 2008. It's our very own podcast where we do deep dives and stuff, interviews with small bands, and we even talk to you as well, the fans, if you want to be on the show. So if you want to listen, well, we go so much deeper in everything, and I do some ranting and reacting. We listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and you can watch the actual podcast episode, kind of like the Joe Rogan podcast, right here on YouTube. Links for all those in the description below. And last but not least, you should follow our Amazon Alexa skill because that's where you can hear the Song of the Day choice all the way through. So it's a great way to get your day going, end your day, find out about new bands, rediscover old bands, find out about the smaller bands that are coming up on Small Band Saturday. So go enable that if you have that device. Link description below. And last but most importantly, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I want to thank you guys for supporting the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 Day project. It means the world to me. And you know how I end these videos. This is Kevin from the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today YouTube channel. We got to do the hat flip with the Kevin Harvick hat. Hey, see ya!